Hi, I'm Brian DiCiano, and I'm going to make the Martini. Before I make it, I'd just like to talk about it a little bit. The Martini is a fantastic cocktail. It's probably my favorite drink of all time. Um, there's a lot of controversy to the Martini because of its how it has evolved over time. Invented I think sometime in the 50s or maybe before that, I don't know. No one really knows where the original Martini was invented. But it has progressed from being old time when the quality of gin was very poor. Sort of a bathtub gin. That's how they used to make it almost, pretty much. And so they would use a considerable amount of vermouth to hide the bad taste of the gin. And as the quality of gin over time has become very, very superior now, very good, the vermouth has sort of weaned out. Normally now just to a little bit, but you can even see martinis made with no vermouth at all, which is extreme. Would be called a Churchill martini because Winston Churchill drank his martinis in such a way. And there's also some little things with the Churchill martini of how people think it should be made. Some say you pour the martini with no vermouth, obviously, and look in the direction of France, which is where the French dry vermouth originally came from. And then others say you're supposed to wave the bottle over the martini. But anyways, vermouth actually is a good part of the martini. You want the vermouth, but you don't want too much. You really want a dry martini as opposed to a wet one. And keep in mind that the different types of gin that you're using will react differently to the vermouth. And also, if you're using a different vermouth, it'll be very different in characteristic and flavor. You can use here the Tanqueray gin, very nice gin, 4 times distilled, very great balance, very smooth, and also you can use here the Beefeater gin, another very light citrus, nice balance type gin, both London dry gins. And then this here is a Seagram's gin, which actually is not a London dry gin. They've incorporated some other processes in the production of Seagram's gin, and they actually barrel mellow it for a few weeks, I think. So it gives it a little bit of a golden hue, and also a very smooth, mellow flavor. And I wouldn't exactly recommend the Seagram's gin for martini, but that's just my preference. But I actually really do like the Seagram's gin. It's very good. I like it. And also, like vermouths, you can use here the Gallo vermouth, which is from the Gallo Vineyards in Modesto, California, local winery. This vermouth I found to be very light in flavor and a little bit more fruity than this here, which is Noli Prat, which is the traditional French dry vermouth. And vermouth is made over a pretty rigorous process in which they infuse or macerate as many as like 30 to 50, maybe even 100 different herbs or botanicals into the, we got these bottles in the way, into the wine. And it just gives it a really complex depth of flavor. And so when mixing it with gin, if you add too much, it'll completely take over the flavor, and it's not really what you want. You really want to highlight the gin in your martini. And the original martini was made with gin, not vodka. James Bond, you are horrible to the martini culture. You completely ruined martinis forever until we can get it fixed. Martinis should never, ever be shaken. And that's the worst thing to do to martini. Should always be stirred. And the gin I'm going to use to make the martini is this here, which is Bombay Sapphire, which is a fantastic gin. They're very unique in their distillation process, and because they're vapor infused instead of macerating as such beefeater, and I'm not sure about Tanqueray, but probably yes. But Bombay Sapphire is vapor infused, so it's much lighter, very subtle, crisp, light flavor, and the choice of botanicals and the way they're balanced together just makes it such a stellar gin. It's fantastic. You got a wonderful balance between citrus from Spain and also the woody type notes from cassia bark, angelica root, grains of paradise, kuba berries. Also some spicy, sweet type notes from licorice in there. Just makes it so complex and very fantastic. Let's see if there's anything else I want to cover about the martini.